Property taxes, they gotta be paid every year. Whether you have the house paid in full or not, you own it outright, you paid cash, doesn't matter. You have to pay those property taxes. Most of us that have a loan are having the impounds of the taxes monthly put into an escrow account. You pay a monthly amount along with your principal and interest, along with your insurance, and that gets collected throughout the year, and then they're paid out. Well, there is a trap that a lot of new homeowners fall in. Usually it takes about a year and a half to 2 years until they have figured it out. It all depends on when you actually purchase the home and whenever you find out about the trap. Now, the best practice is to always anticipate what the property taxes are going to be, and it's easily done by using your local property appraiser's site. They have a tax estimator tool on there, and this tax estimator tool will give you an idea of what the property taxes just might be come the following year. In Florida, they actually do the taxes in the arrears. So at the end of the year, the tax assessment is done, and you know what the property taxes are due by a certain date the following next year. You pay them early, and then you get a little bit of a discount. Here's the trap. When a new home buyer purchases a home, let's just take an example. They purchased a home in July. The home is purchased in July 1st. There's taxes due from January 1st to June 30th that the seller will pay, and that's prorated. And then this buyer is responsible for the taxes for the rest of the year. The property appraiser site, they don't really know what happened with the sale of the property. They're already, the property appraiser's office, tax collector's office, they're already working on assessing that property's value for that year. So whenever you are getting approved for a loan, you any good loan originator is going to be looking at the future of the property taxes the best they possibly can, normally using the county's property appraiser's tax estimator tool. So you'll know exactly how much money you're going to need to be able to afford the home, so you stay inside your budget. If it works, fantastic, you move forward. Here's the problem. The underwriters and the title offices that do the closing, attorneys' offices, they look backwards. And that is a mistake. And this is why it's a mistake. Because whenever you get assessed for the end of the year, sure, that first year worked out okay because you're assessed for the previous year's taxes. It might be a little bit short just because there's a little bit of adjustment. Usually it works out fine. Sometimes it doesn't work out fine because, again, they're working on last year's taxes, not this year's taxes that are going to be assessed. So there's usually a shortage right then. But here's the worst part. The new purchase price, the new purchased home is going to be reassessed for a different and much higher value most of the time the following year. But the property escrows, the impound taxes, have not changed. They're still from 2 years ago assessments. So we're going 2 years back on assessments and getting reassessed higher for this upcoming year. So where maybe your property taxes should be maybe collecting $300 a month, and I'm just using round numbers, could be much higher, could be lower, but just using round numbers, but you're only collecting $200 a month. So at the end of the year, your taxes are $3,600, but you've only collected $2,400. So now you're short $1,200. That money's going to be paid, and you won't know about it until your escrow account is reanalyzed. And when it's reanalyzed, it's going to be short. Then the mortgage company, the mortgage servicing company, is going to set your escrows much higher to really where they're supposed to be. But then they're also going to do assessment to make up the payment. So they're going to either ask you to pay that difference in full or repay it over the next 12 months, increasing your mortgage payment. Now, here's the worst part of this is whenever someone purchases land and has a home built, whether it's a private builder or it's a production builder, it doesn't matter. It happens more with the production builder situations, is the taxes for the first year and actually the money's being collected for the first year and a half, 2 years on land taxes only. So want to use round numbers again, just to keep it simple. Say the land tax is $1,000 a year. So they're only going to collect $100. $1,200 a year. They're only going to collect $100 a month. And then that first year is fine. It worked out fine. No big deal. Then the next year, the property appraiser site reassesses with the building on there, and it goes from $1,000 to $5,000 a year. Now, you're only collecting, or $1,200 to $5,000 a year. Now, you're only collecting $100 a month. You're going to be short. At the end of the year, the next year, you're short by $3,800 because you're only collecting $1,200. Now you are either going to have to pay that $3,800 in all up lump sum, or the mortgage company is going to force you to pay it over time, over a 12-month period, increasing your mortgage payment by $300 to $400 or $500 a month. That's the trap. And every time it happens, the best options to keep this from happening is to, whenever you close on your loan, they're going to the closing department, the title company, they always look backwards. I already said that before. The underwriter, they're looking backwards when they should be looking forward. That's their mistake. The only way to correct their mistake is to make sure that you're putting additional funds aside that your loan originator talked to you about, and that you're going to be able to have that. You need that much money to pay for your property taxes. You put that in a separate account, and then you add it to the escrow before the taxes are paid. So there's always enough money in your escrow, and then you'll be fine. If you don't do it, then you're caught in the trap, and you're going to have a higher mortgage payment. So what are the solutions? I just spoke of one solution, is making sure you're putting that account aside. The other solution, so you don't get stuck with that higher payment, is you'll have to refinance. But then you're going to have the money to pay for those back taxes that got paid. Well, not back taxes, the lump sum tax that the mortgage company paid. You're going to have to come up with that money. If you happen to have equity in your home, which in 2 years, maybe you might have some equity in the home, enough to pay that difference, possibly. But then you're going to have the closing costs for refinancing. So that's not really the best option. But instead of your payment going up $300 to $400 or $500 a month, that you can actually slow down that increase. So there's some options. Listen, everybody, I don't agree with it. I argue with the underwriters, the title company, the closing department all the time. Like the taxes are incorrect. The taxes needs to be this amount, and they won't ever do it because they have their procedures. So we just have to fix the system in a way of doing it our own way and making sure the money is available. So listen to your loan originator about what the estimated property taxes are. If they're not pulling those numbers off the property appraiser site, then you need to do it yourself, or find a loan originator that knows how to do it and will quote you the best estimate. Instead of going by, you can't go by last year's taxes. It's going to increase. Now, there might be an anomaly from time to time, but it's going to increase. Cost goes up every year. So if you have any questions on this, I'm going to have my calendar link below in the comments. Please go ahead and schedule a one-on-one time with me. I'd like to review this. If you're in a current situation, I can give you some guidance how to manage through that. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, understanding this process, be glad to be able to review that information for you. So please like, subscribe, follow. I'll be having more content and following information about making sure that your guidance through home ownership is always as seamless and as enjoyable as possible. I'm Ron, the Home Loan Dude. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.